Yumeko. Welcome to my classroom. Hi, welcome. Today we're going to go over the 4th grade math standards for California. That way we understand what 4th graders are supposed to learn this school year. Now let's take a look at the standards overview. So this isn't all of the standards that they have, it's just a breakdown of the standards. And we're going to look at them together. There's operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, number and operations in fractions, measurement and data, and geometry. For operations and algebraic thinking, they want a 4th grader to be able to use the 4 operations. That's adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with whole numbers to solve a problem. They want 4th graders to gain familiarity with factors and multiples, which is multiplying and dividing. And they want 4th graders to be able to generate and analyze patterns. So for number and operations in base 10, they want students to be able to generalize place value understanding for multi-digit whole numbers and use place value understanding and properties of operations to perform multi-digit arithmetic. Okay, so first, base 10 just means our normal counting system, 1 through 10. And I'll discuss in a later lesson why they call it base 10. And for place value, that just means understanding if it's in the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, etc. So they want them to be able to understand the different place values. And they want them to be able to use operations with those place values to perform multi-digit arithmetic. So moving beyond 2 plus 2 into larger numbers. 12 plus 10, 100 plus 250, things like that. In the next standard, number and operations, fractions, they want students to be able to extend understanding of fraction equivalence and ordering, which means they want students to understand how to figure out equivalent fractions and how to order fractions in greatest to least and least to greatest. They want students to be able to build fractions from unit fractions and apply and extend previous understanding of operations on whole numbers. So where we had adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with whole numbers, now they want us to be able to apply that to fractions as well. And they want students to understand decimal notation for fractions and compare decimal fractions. And they want students to be able to understand decimal notation for fractions and to be able to compare decimal fractions. So what that means is they want students to be able to understand how decimals form from fractions and then to be able to order them as well. Measurement and data. They want students to be able to solve problems involving measurement and conversion of measurements from a larger unit to a smaller unit, and also from a smaller unit back to a larger unit. And this will be both the imperial and metric system. We'll go into the differences of those later. And they want students to be able to use geometric measurement, understanding concepts of angle and measure angles. So we're going to learn what are angles, how to classify different kinds of angles, and how to measure angles. And then geometry. For geometry, which has to do with shapes, we're going to learn more about shapes that we already know, like squares and triangles and circles, and we're going to learn how different kinds of lines and angles can help us to identify and define these shapes better. And we're going to learn about some new shapes too. So these are the standards that students are supposed to learn for the school year in 4th grade in California. They do go into more detail. This is just the overview, and we're going to be looking at those more detailed standards and breaking them down and working on each standard throughout this year. If you have any questions, just comment below and I'll do my best to answer. Thank you for following the lesson today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe to be notified of lessons in the future.